Right, so things I say a lot at clinics. I'm going to call this on repeat. And one of the first thing we've got here is with our reins, say again and again and again, long arm, short reins. Essentially just shorten up your reins. Right? And we don't want to get too short and like choke our horse, but also if we start getting out that we start holding our hands in our belly, well then we're going to run out of pull and our horse can run away from us pretty easy. So just find the sweet spot where you can have a little bit of slack. Have a little bit of slack in your reins, but then as you pull, you've got all of this to come back into and your horse can now like work inside. And so probably the biggest part of this is the most important thing that we can teach our horses is how to get off our leg. So when we're riding one-handed, that's the reason why getting off our leg is so important, so that because we can't help them out, you don't really give them a direct rein and really tip their nose. What we need to do is get them off our leg so that we can push them around to where we want them to go, because our hands can't help them anywhere near as much as what we can when we're two-handed. Right, so yeah, long arm, short reins. Find a sweet spot in here and don't choke them, because then you can't do. If you choke them too much, what you end up doing is dragging their head around that way, and that's, you look at what a wreck that just made. Imagine doing that going fast. So for playing polocross, we need to have joined reins, which I suppose is safer, so you don't drop a rein midfield. That would cause a wreck. So what I like to do is I make my bridge, and then it's not the tails that I want even. I want the reins even from my bridge, and so they hang down my left-hand side, because I'm right-handed. I want them out of the way as much as possible. And then from there, on my bridge, just run my hands down to make them even, and about there somewhere. I don't want it right at the end because I don't want to catch my boot in my reins. So about there is about good for me. And then I'll just get me tape. Just run a bit of tape around. Why I like tape instead of tying is just so that I can adjust it if I need. Pull that rein through a little bit to get that nice and flat. And there I am. Shorten that one up a little. There we go. So that's how I like to have my reins for when I play. Right, now, Hayden Turnbull's already done this in his excellent video, but it's worth repeating here. It's how to adjust your reins when you've got a racket. So we have our racket, like, I've got the ball here. Now we're going to get loose and messy at some stage when we play. That's just inevitable. So what we do need to do is practice getting better, practice getting it right. So without the ball to start with, all I want to do is when I get all loose, after, I might have to go for a big pickup or something like that, and I get loose and bend out of shape, just hold your racket with your thumb and that top finger, and then just poke your fingers in there, and then just run the reins through your hand to get back to your spot. Right? So when you get loose, and like you can only do this through practice, it only becomes good through practice. When you do get loose, just drop these bottom fingers off, keep your racket upright, and just drag your hand through. Right, we're back on, ready to go. Now with the ball, same thing, but now you have to be a lot more careful about the ball. Right, just had to do it screaming pick up. Well, other people do screaming pickups, I just got the ball. And I'm all loose, messed up, right, I need to get back in control here. It's just the same thing, just look what's coming behind you, so you're not going to get caught out of surprise. look what's behind you. You rack it like that, and then same thing, just grab those reins and pull them up. Right, I was umpiring a game and there's a very, very good player. She just did this, she got all loose and she stopped, half got stopped and reassessed the reins, but she put her racket over like that and did them like that. And of course I just had to take the ball off her because she put the ball over the horse. So just, yeah, pay attention, look behind you and just run your hands through the reins like that to get back to where you want them to be, and you've still got the ball. And you can do that on the run too, obviously. No, they're probably not going to let you just stand and get organised. I certainly know I don't like when my players let people get organised on me. So yeah, and now, riding two-handed on the field. So we've got our bridge, right? And your horse, as he's greener, he will need a hand as you, particularly going into your racket. If you're left-handed, it'll be going left, but for right-handers, it's going right. So much the same as when we adjusted, just leave your racket up, drop these fingers off, but you don't lose that bridge there. And what you do is just run your hand down that rein to help him bring his nose around, to help that horse through that turnaround. If he's getting a little bit jammed, you know, one-handed. And they do get jammed going into your racket when we're playing because, well, this is where the pressure comes from. They're always chasing your stick. So a lot of the time you're going to be like leaving away to the left, right? But when we need to go right, so just run your racket up in the air, bottom fingers off, don't lose your bridge, run your hands down to then give that direct rein. Let him follow his nose around. Right? As soon as you go to, like they're like, oh, go two-handed, help your young horse out. But what they do is they do this and they spread their reins like that, so they go like to a camp drafting style bridge rather than your one-handed bridge. So they spread their hands out like that, they put their racket down like this, and they've psychologically taken themselves out of the game. Like, if I'm carrying the ball and you're riding at me like this, right, you've got nothing. You've got one swing because as you let go, so your reins are all bent to swing, you've got like, and generally your reins are now too long, all I have to do is ride that one swing, which is only a Hail Mary anyway. Right? So never let go of one-handed. Never let go of one-handed, just help your horse out. Because as soon as you go like that, you're now not playing the game, you're riding your horse. And most of the time when people go two-handed like that, they start steering their horse rather than riding their horse around. Right? And so when we talk about two-handed riding on the field, it's going to lead into the next video, the common question of where should I play my young horse first.